Hey everyone, it's the TheAngryHoneyBadger, and it's time for us to take a look at a new champion build video. Today I'm actually going to be playing as Amumu, playing him in the jungle. I did an Amumu build way back a long time ago. I think it was actually in lane, because you can do this. It's kind of an awkward combo, but as we are probably all used to Amumu nowadays, being played in the jungle has been for quite a while, but randomly you'll see him in lane because of what he has to offer your team based on utility and some stuff like that. But we're going to be in the jungle today because he's pretty epic in there, and we're going to be building him half tank, half AP because of what he can do in a fight and kind of how he is just naturally awesome. So at level 1, what we're going to be starting off with is a Hunters Machete and pots. Pretty much already burnt through my pots because I use them to stay alive. Yep, that's my reason. And we're going to be taking that Hunter's Machete and building that into a Spirit Stone in a little bit, and that further on eventually. Early on in the game, what we're trying to do here is pick up buffs and steal enemy jungle, because that's always fun to do. We will be doing that a lot this game because of strategic placement of ourselves and where the enemy jungler is going to be. But for now, we're going to go ahead and keep jungling up. We're going to go ahead and cover his abilities and his passive. So first off, we do have his passive, which is Cursed Touch. Amumu's attacks reduce the target's magic resist. Kinda awesome. So you basically will do more damage to them. So kind of simple, kind of awesome. It's very cool. And then we do have his Q ability, which is his Bandage Toss. Now what that is going to do is whenever you throw out your Bandage Toss, if it hits an enemy, it's going to pull Amumu to them and stun them for 1 second and deal a handful of magic damage. And then as for his W ability, we do have Despair, which is what I like to take at level 1. I don't max it first though, but I do take points in it at level 1, and I'll max that typically second. But our Despair, whenever we toggle that, that is his Tears. That is going to deal some damage, and then plus a percentage of damage, and then you can also add more percents to it based on the amount of AP you have. So it does take quite a bit of AP to get more percents on that. It's every 100 ability power you get 1 more percent, but it's going to still be awesome. Then we're going to steal Blue Buff from Jarvan because I saw him down in bot a second ago, so I can go ahead and take that from him. And yeah, that's his Despair, which is his W ability. His E ability is Tantrum, which basically whenever you claw at the air, it's all fun. Basically, passively, Amumu takes 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 reduced damage from physical attacks, so you actually get a little bit beefier. And then actively, Amumu deals the damage whenever he does that Tantrum. It does add some more damage to it, obviously, with ability power, so that's going to be nice to build some on that if that's what you want. Yeah, every time Amumu is hit by an auto attack, the cooldown on it is actually reduced by 0.5. Here, though, they are getting into a fight bottom. I'm going to come in here, going to get a Bandage Toss off, going to use my ultimate, which I'll go over in a second. I'm going to be despairing all over them, aka crying all over them. Picked up a kill on the Leona and an assist on the Jarvan. And Vayne is going to make her way back actually to our Vayne to kill our Vayne, but luckily I will be able to kill their Vayne as well. And pick up kind of a double kill. So we have that happening. So first real gank happening kind of later on in this game, but really couldn't do too much early. We weren't really set up in awesome areas. Malphite top's kind of hard to gank. Akali can, because she can disappear a little bit into her shroud. But nonetheless, we farmed, and we stole farm from the Jarvan, who is their jungler. And that first trip we did take back. I did buy that Spirit Stone and a Philosopher's Stone. Those are my first 2 main items. Philosopher's Stone is going to start giving you gold over time, awesome health, and mana regen. Cannon's actually getting into a little bit of a fight here. I'm going to go ahead and come on in, help with any kind of damage I can. He is going to annihilate that Jarvan. Unfortunately, he will not be able to get away. I didn't know which way Akali was going to be going. She is going to make an escape, but I do pick up an assist, so I just helped him out. He probably would have just died without any help and probably no kills, so at least we could get 1 for 1 out of that exchange. But like I was saying, those first 2 items were the Spirit Stone and the Philosopher's Stone. I did already finish off, though, that Spirit Stone into the item in which now I can't think of its name. But it is the jungling item that has the revolver, the Hextech revolver in it. I can't think of the name for it for some odd reason. Usually I'm used to picking up the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, because that's the tankier one, but actually on Amumu, the other one's amazingly awesome, especially with the Tears, because you just don't die. So that's what I pick up. Now, you wouldn't necessarily need to be taking that as your first immediate item. I only build that if I'm ahead, and being 2-0 and 2 right now, that is what I took first. Unfortunately, Ken's getting chased here, and that blocked me for a second, so that was how my ult's going to look that time. They are going to chase me because this is not a 1v1 that I really can fight. I am going to flash to put a little more distance between me after he threw down his standard. Going to get him out here. He's going to take some turrets. I'm going to move back and just tandem him real quick and pick up a kill. And Kali's going to have to retreat because it would switch over to her immediately. So I did actually pick up a kill there while baiting them back to the tower. But like I was saying, you don't normally would have to pick up this Spirit of the whatever it's called first on Amumu unless you're doing awesome. You can finish this off a little bit later. But we're going to be, what you could do instead is do what I'm doing at this point, is picking up this Giant's Belt, which we'll be building with some armor, and picking up a Sunfire Cape. Going to be coming in here. I'm about 10 seconds behind everyone at Kennan's fight whenever I head towards mid. He is going to get out. I am going to engage on her and use what I have to finish her off. Going to shut her down. Just kind of funny how I'm always about 20 seconds behind all of his fights. I think I even tell him that. So that's what we're doing. We're going to start to get a little bit tanky now. Getting some health on Amumu fairly early is good. As much as I say that this is kind of my half tank, half AP build, you do want to still get kind of tanky for your team, because regardless, they're going to be expecting you to tank because of your ability to tank, as I currently get stuck behind the tower because of his stupid nonsense there, and I'm going to need to tank that a little bit. But Amumu's a good tank. If you do full tank, it's awesome, but I've actually had like a 99% win rate with this build. This build's awesome. One of my good friends who plays Amumu as his main champion uses this build, and the kid is amazing with Amumu, and I've adopted his build style with this and my ideas behind it, and it seriously is awesome. So this build is pretty rockin'. Give it a shot when we fully discuss the rest of it. So going back to his abilities, going back to his ultimate, which is the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Basically, your surrounding enemies are unable to move for 2 seconds, and you deal a lot of AP to them. So you can lock down a whole team in their spot. It's not technically a stun, but they are immobilized, or how you want to call it. So that's kind of an awesome ultimate. So Amumu is all about placement and timing, really. He's not the hardest champion in the world to play, but he's not the easiest if you're really comboing together his abilities really well. Especially getting his bandage toss set up so you can land in the middle of a team and use your ultimate on them. Here I'm going to engage on a Kali. Do not be afraid to do some tower diving. I actually did tell Ken that I was going to do this, so he did start heading towards this direction. I will tank this for him. Luckily, with my ult and his ult on our team, we're going to be able to do some awesome stuff with that in team fights. Especially if I can engage and get them all locked down, then he can move in and use all of his abilities and get all of his damage off. So kind of a good team composition to have us two together. He is getting chased again. I'm going to go scare them off a little bit. And yeah, we're going to keep doing all of that. Now, I didn't go over my boots yet, but I did go back and I did buy my boots. Typically, I will be picking those up fairly early because the mobility is awesome. Also, the tenacity, because I did buy Merc Treads, and magic resist on those is going to be a little bit helpful for me getting tanky. Here, I am fighting them, and I know we did just use our ults not too long ago to kill a Kali, and I am trying to bait them back to this tower. Now, I'm going to flash around the tower to try to see if I can keep them tanking it to die to it. Unfortunately, I will die, but luckily it does switch to Vayne, and I will pick up a kill on Vayne, so I did get one out of it, and that's going to be nice. So we're going to head back to base and finish off that Sunfire Cape, which is going to add more health, more armor, and some extra damage over time, too, if I'm standing next to people, as we know, with that burning Sunfire damage being some magic damage. So that's going to be pretty awesome for us. Getting kind of tanky with that item because Sunfire is a good early tank item. It's just an awesome item in general. You get some damage, get some armor, get some health, and we're going to be rocking on with that. Getting to a little bit of a fight, and teams clearing them out. They all started coming in like 2 at a time, so we all grouped up quick, and we're going to be able to pick up a quick ace here, which is going to be very, very helpful to us early on. Our bot lane actually didn't do amazing early. They did okay. The enemy bot lane did pretty good too because Leona is a great support, especially with a Vayne. So they did good work farming and killing early on in this game. But we're going to make a good push here and then get out and go check the dragon. But unfortunately, it is not there. So as Amumu, we will cry our way away. But we're going to go ahead and continue the build at this point and keep talking about Amumu and all that fun stuff because Amumu is just an awesome tank. As you know, Amumu is one of the highest banned champions in ranked play. And unfortunately, we don't have Baron Ward, and right after they all respawned, they ran straight for it, because that was smart on their part, so they're going to pick up a free Baron. But as I was saying, Amumu is a highly banned champion, because when he's played correctly, it's kind of devastating in team fights. He can basically hold somebody in place for about, well, at least 3 seconds if he lands all of his stuff. And in 3 seconds, if a team moves in, you can annihilate anybody in less than 3 seconds. So if he can land his kit on the high priority target on their team, it is devastating. But unfortunately, in this fight, our Ken did kind of over-engage, and then I went in and I was going for the Akali and the Vayne because that's who we should be focusing. And our Vayne runs away because she's getting chased, and then our Taric runs away because Vayne ran away. And now they move back in, and they do pick up a kill on Jarvan, but we did not focus the high priority targets. And because of that, we will now all die. So, that was bad focusing on our team's part. I did my part. I did what I could. But we didn't focus correctly. Vayne ran out a little too fast, and that will happen. It's that fine line for an AD carry to figure out when she needs to run back and regroup, and then when she doesn't need to. But we are building towards our other items now. The next 2 items we do currently have going on for us is a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is what we're building towards with that Giant's Belt and that Blasting Wand. That's going to be awesome for even more health, even more damage, and that awesome slow, which we will be able to get off constantly because of our despair being our tears. We're just going to be slowing them. Basically, the sadder you are, the better it is for them to die. And then we do have our Philosopher's Stone, which we did build into our Eliza's Miracle? Is that what it's called? Why do I sound unsure about that? Anyways, what this item is going to do for us is you need to get this item at least at level 15, if not slightly before that, so you make sure you don't forget to buy this item. The next 3 levels that you have this item, you will then consume the item, and you will get the buffs off the item automatically built into your kit then. So, if you buy it later than 15, obviously you can't hit 3 levels with it. Now, I'm going to Bandage Toss out to their team and use my ultimate to get them stuck because that's what we need to do, and Kennan's going to ult on top of it. He does get kicked out a little bit by the Vayne ult, but we are going to be able to pick up some awesome damage and stack all of our damage really well with all of our AoE. We're going to be able to kill all of them, pick up the ace, and only lose 1 champion here. There was a really late tantrum for some odd reason, but we're going to pick up the ace and only lose Cannon in that fight, I believe. Yeah. And so that's a really good team fight going on there. Did lots of damage, as Amumu does, because of his kit. He does lots of damage. His AP ratios are very high because when you trade tanks off, you trade some of their tank ability, we'll call it, for some damage. It's going to be a little bit more higher rates, if you want to call it that. So that's one reason why I do build Amumu with a bit more AP than he really needs. So if you want to build him super tanky and go super tank Mumu, go for it. It's also awesome too. But this has a little bit of damage in it, which feels really rewarding. And if you do get in 1v1s or 2v1s, you can legitimately fight them quite well. So that is one of the reasons why I do kind of do this off-tank Mumu. And it works well enough because I am still trying to get our team to engage. Although here I didn't want to fight this, but Jack starts it, so I guess I'll move back in and cry all over them. So we're going to do that, throw our tantrums when we can, and chase out the high-priority targets like the Vayne. Picked up the kill on the Jarvan. Trying to do some damage to Vayne. She is going to roll away and get away, but I am going to try to get away from this Malphite by flashing through a wall. So that is what we're going to do to give ourselves a little bit of separation and get out of there nice and clean. So go back to base, pick up some items. We got a handful of gold. We're going to be able to pick up that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. As we could see, that Philosopher's Stone and that Miracle is now part of my kit, so I do have that bonus mana and health regeneration built in now, which is going to be sweet, and it frees up that item slot. Now we're going to pick up a Haunting Guise, which is going to be a Liandrys Torment, but I don't think we're going to get to that because the game will end before that happens. But that item would be a Torment, and then our final item after that Torment, which is going to give us even more awesome damage and more percentage damage, is going to be a Abyssal Scepter. So that is the very last item, in theory, for this half-tanky damage build, because the only thing we're lacking is a little bit of magic resist, but if you really need to pick up something else, you could easily pick up a Frozen Heart if you needed more armor, so it just kind of comes down to you. But that would be the full build. Now, as for his Masteries page, I go with my tanky jungler page, which is like a 125.4. There's pictures of all my Masteries pages on Facebook, so head over there and check those out. If you have any questions about any Masteries pages, they're all over there under photos. And then as for my rune page, I believe we do have some magic penetration marks, armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and then movement speed quintessences for awesome early ganking. And because movement speed quintessences in Season 3 are amazing, in case you don't know. Because they're like having Boots 1 built in then, since Boots 1 don't give you as much move speed. So that's the build. That's going to be everything you pretty much need to know. Amumu's really fun to play, and like I said, this build works amazingly. if you aren't having such an amazing beginning of the game, just make sure you start getting some of those health items, especially try to pick up that Sunfire Cape as maybe your first item after your Philosopher's Stone, instead of finishing off your jungling item right away. So if you're having a little bit of a problem early, you can do that, but if you're doing fine, go ahead and finish that off, pick up that little bit of damage. You're going to be killing people. I killed Jarvan again there, and we're picking up assists on everybody. And we're going to end this game out nice and easy. I think I only died twice this game, and I'd say I was tanking fairly well and pushing people out. But anyways, that's going to be the build. If you have any questions, put those in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not. If you're looking for other build videos, there is a link in the description. There's a link at the end of this video. But other than that, everyone, I will just see all of you in the next build video.